Hey everyone, it's Beret, and sometimes I wear a beret, and this is the Wildstyle, a brand new pistol by Sillybutts. He sent this to me free of charge. He printed and assembled it using out-of-darts hardware, along with a smattering of his brand new silly shells. So I'm super thankful that he sent these my way to test out, and I've been very happy with my initial experiences. And I wanted to share those with you today because I've been a big fan of shell-fed blasters for a while, and these offer something that I think is going to be pretty fun for future blasters. You know it's official when he sends you paperwork. I'm a little behind. Hello, and thank you for accepting the sample of the Wildstyle, my shell ejecting pistol shotgun blaster. No, thank you. Wildstyle is the first one using the silly shell platform. They pretty much fire any foam ammo out of your blaster. We'll show those off soon. And yes, the hardware for these was provided by Out of Darts. The files are, of course, publicly available for anyone who wants to print them, and he gives me a quick demonstration on how to actually load this in case I got confused. QR codes. 3, 2, 1, okay. I keep wanting to call this a silly pistol because that's what every pistol designed by Sillybutts is to me, but no, this is the Wildstyle. It says so right there, and on both sides. The print quality for this particular unit is totally fine. I'm not gonna comment too much on it though because it was printed by Sillybutts and he isn't actually selling the prints himself. If you're printing that yourself, then you'll be in charge of the print quality. The uniqueness of the silly pistol, darn it. The uniqueness of the Wildstyle, of course, comes down to the front right here, where you load your shell from the top, lock it into place. You can't push it back into place because there's a little bit of a nub, so yes, you're supposed to drop it into place and lock it. Definitely won't come loose. And then after you fire, there's technically two ways that you can release the shell. One, of course, using this big old lever as a mechanical advantage, or you can use the other end of the lever right here and just push. Either way, options are good. And speaking of options, a few things that Sillybutts also sent me were these shell holders that you can print out and attach to the top of your Wildstyle. So in this case, we've got a room for 2, and this one is just room for 1. Screw them, of course, into place, but it could look something like this. That way you could have maybe your rifle shell right here, and then you could grab your Ultra, or your Mega XL, or your N series. Oh yeah, let's talk about the shells. As you can see, he did not skimp on sending me quite a few of these. So these are elite style dart shells, this one being 2 darts, this one being 3. As you can tell when I flip them over like so I could put half darts in there or just full length. We've got an N series option as well, everyone's favorite new ammo. We've also got Ultra, everyone's favorite previous ammo. Arguably the best looking shell is Hyper. We've got to have our rival shell here in yellow. Mega Dart shell coming in red. Mega XL, blue. Also sent a couple of these sniper shells which actually have like a little collet that you can put your own barrel inside of. Pretty cool. And this bottle nose which can fit a rocket on the front, or you can just put another dart in the back. Because Mega and Mega XL darts are a little bit longer than the shells, here's what they look fully inserted. Of course, that's not going to be a problem for the Wildstyle because it's a front loader, so it doesn't matter how much it pops out the front. But I imagine there might be some other blasters in the future that might require it to not be this long, in which case you would need to cut the dart, but I would prefer not to if I don't need to. Interesting as well for these 2 shells, if you can see it there ever so slightly, there's actually a bit of a twist inside of this Mega XL shell and this Mega. I'm not sure if that's actually helped them be more accurate. I just realized that some of them are actually not including that, so it might be some files that are twist and some that are not. Also, I might have misspoke. I think that's a little bit too tight. I take it back. Now, if you've watched my videos for some time, you probably know that I've pretty heavily invested in the Shellington Labs Spring Thunder shell ecosystem. I've had these for quite a while, and this is a mix of ones that I was sent with my original Spring Thunder and ones that were printed for me by Boomstick Mods. These nice little ones with my logo on them were slightly higher quality, but you can see that there's a significant difference if I grab one of the rival ones I have now between these shells and the new silly shells. This has got a lot more heft to it, and there's some pros and cons to that, of course, but I believe the intention to use or create these shells was so that you could in fact have a shell that fired a large caliber like Mega XL. You can fit a Spring Thunder shell inside of a Mega XL Silly shell. I of course had some Boomco shells as well in my Spring Thunder shell collection. There are some Boomco offerings as well in the Silly shell ecosystem. There's a lot more that exist right now that I don't have right here, I'm pretty sure, so go check them out. And I'm sure some people will just prefer a smaller shell because it works with the blasters that they have or the existing shell-fed blasters that they have, and they don't need something like a Mega XL shell. They just want something up to like Rival Buckshot, like 3-shot Rival. Obviously we'll have a challenge getting some good FPS out of our double, triple, elite darts, and then the Mega XL. So just to get a quick idea of some chronograph data, let's try our highest first. Hey, bottle nose, rear loading, half darts. Now if you're on the fly, it'll probably be easier just to front load a little bit, maybe give it a slight pinky push. See how that does. Alright, so still hanging around about 100 FPS, not bad. Go elite dart, go elite dart, go! Yeah! Alright, rear loaded elite dart. About the same. We'll try some N series. So a little over stock N series performance. Honestly, some of them felt pretty tight in the shell and some didn't. That's probably why. We'll try a single rival round. Front load, rival, AccuStrike. I have one hyper ball. That's all I'm gonna give it. It's all or nothing. Yeah, it's about standard. Alright, Ultra time. Sonic Screamers. That's pretty good for Ultra, and with Mega AccuFakes. That was also a mix of some of those rifled shells versus not. You can tell the foam quality also comes into play, because the ones that have a good seal will typically do better, and some that are a little bit looser might not. But what's the FPS of the shell? 2.6. Happy? A blaster like this is obviously not all about performance, but you can get some decent performance with the bottle nose, as I found. Of course, it's going to give you best performance when you load it just out of the back with a single half dart, but I mean, you can quickly change out shells, it's not too complicated, and it's a lot of fun. And of course, the best thing about a blaster like this is that if you do happen to run out of shells, because they get lost during the games and you can't always retrieve them, all you need is one last shell, and just keep reloading that one. Front loader, you have in fact reinvented the front loader. Front loader with options. So that's my first impressions of the Wildstyle. Had a lot of fun with it so far, look forward to using it more in the future. I mean, it's a shotgun pistol with options. How can you really go wrong? Thank you again to Sillybutts for printing and sending this my way. I will of course include links to everything relevant in the description below if you want to print something yourself or you want to buy some of the hardware or fully assembled blasters if they do exist. Subscribe or I will wild your style, and I'll see you later. Oh, I missed. Pop. Oh no! Woo! Watch the door. You want N series? This is how you get N series.